Welcome children to SV Union High School and Junior College Pune. I am Deepa Fatke. We are going to learn about Standard 10th English 4.5 lesson, The Old Man and the Sea book review. So let's begin learning about the glossary words. Let's start learning the glossary words. Apprentice, a person who works for another in order to learn a trade. Devoted, loyal. Resolves, settle, find a solution. Attempt means make an effort to achieve something. Marlin is any large saltwater game fish of the genera Macaira and tetrapreds, having the upper jaw elongated into sparkling structure. Shrapnel, a hollow projectile containing bullets designed to explode before reaching the target and to set the show-off missile. Determination, firm in purpose. Endurance, try hard to achieve something. Memories, something remembered from the past. Triumph, a great victory. Published, prepare an issue for public sale. Wrought, beaten out or shaped by hammering. Chord, group of musical notes sounded together. Ernest Hemingway, July 21, 1899 to July 2, 1961. Ernest Hemingway was an American novelist. He was a short story writer and he had also been awarded by Nobel Prize for Literature in 1954. Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea is a modern morality tale as well as allegory which reveals that Santiago, who is an old Cuban fisherman, had an unlucky streak. He finally catches an enormous marlin, but sharks gradually eat it as he attempts to bring it back to the shore. The novel is based on real events and it also draws heavily on Hemingway's own life. The novel was published in 1952 at the end of the World Wars, and it clearly depicts a tale of endurance and triumph. Hemingway's language is so simple and pithy, and he writes in short and straightforward sentences and also practices an extreme economy of words. Let's read this review. An old man, an experienced Cuban fisherman, has a run of terrible bad luck and is unable to catch any fish for 84 days. His young and devoted apprentice, Manolin, has been forced by his parents to start working with another fisherman. The old man resolves to sail out farther than all the other fishermen and attempt to catch the really big fish. So, in The Old Man and the Sea, an aging Cuban fisherman, old man, struggles to make his living. He hasn't caught anything in last 84 days, so has lost his apprentice Manolin. And the old man resolves, now he is determined to go further ahead than all the other fishermen, and he also tries to attempt to catch hold of really a big fish. On 85th day, he succeeds in hooking a marlin with his bait, but the marlin is too strong for him and starts pulling the boat. The Old Man and the Sea is the story of the old man's struggle with the marlin and his later battle against sharks. So now he is determined, the old man is determined to get something, to get such a big fish. So to redeem himself, he ventures far out to catch a great marlin. When hauling it to shore, the carcass is ravaged by sharks, and Santiago, the old man, returns to shore with only a skeleton. So The Old Man and the Sea is the story of his struggle, the struggle of an old man with the marlin, and also his later battle against sharks. The whole story revolves around the old man and the marlin. Social and historical context. Hemingway's novel is based on real events and is always draws heavily on his life. He had experience of fishing in the Cuban waters, and like the old man, he was also a fan of baseball. He worked for the Red Cross during the First World War, and he was also injured by shrapnel when he was in Italy. Hemingway always talks about the need to struggle against defeat or death and how determination and endurance can help one win in the struggle. The old man is at the end of the novel very near death, but we know that the story of his suffering and loss will live on in the memories of the people of his village. Ultimately, his story becomes one of triumph because the tales of his life will live on even after his death. The novel was published in 1952 when the people were trying to recover from the destruction of wars. Mass destruction wrought by the two world wars, and this tale of endurance and ultimate triumph immediately struck a chord with the readers. So children, here we need to understand that based on real events, this novel also has been a lot of similarity to its author's own life. Like the old man, even Hemingway too had fishing experience. He was also a baseball fan. He was also injured by shrapnel in Italy when he was working for the Red Cross during the First World War. Hemingway believed that determination and endurance can help one win this battle against defeat or death. Although the old man was about to die towards the end of the novel, that is what we come to know, the story of his struggle and his loss remained in the memories of the people of his village, even after his death. So when the novel was written in 1952, it immediately struck a chord with the people as it was a story of endurance and triumph, and they too were trying to recover from the destruction that was brought by the two world wars. So here we need to understand how there are similarities, or there's a similarity between the story of the old man and the author Ernest Hemingway's own life. Now let's read writing style. Let's read about writing style. Hemingway's language is simple and pithy. He mostly writes in short and straightforward sentences and practices an extreme economy in his use of words. This simplicity is deceptive, and a reader can read his work again and again and find new layers of meaning every time. So if we really think about the language and expressions and the use of words, then we must say that Hemingway's writing is straightforward and concise, and his language is simple and brief. The simplicity of his writing helps the reader to find new layers of meaning each time they read his works. Now let's read about the narrator's thoughts. My thoughts. I first read this novel years ago when I did not understand it at all and was left unimpressed. In spite of this, a vivid image remained with me. An old man holding on to his fishing line with the last of his strength. Recently, I read this book again and was extremely moved. The formidable strength of the old man's character, the quiet devotion of the empathetic Manolin, and the relationship between the two are heartwarming. The narrator was unimpressed with the novel at first, but it managed to leave a vivid image in his mind. The narrator was touched when he read the novel again, and he admired the strength of the old man's character, Manolin's devotion, and the heartwarming relationship between the two. Let's read. Hemingway's descriptions of the sea and the creatures of the water are beautiful. The merlin fights for its life desperately, and it's hard to know whether our sympathy should lie with the old man or with the Merlin. But as the novel progresses, the old man and the Merlin are inseparably linked because both stand for the same ideals, that is, a noble struggle against destruction. So the narrator appreciates Hemingway's beautiful description of the sea, of the creatures of the water. He even talks about the reader's conflict of sympathizing with the Merlin or the old man, as they both stand for the same ideal of struggling against destruction. So children, we have completed the lesson. Now you all are going to read the glossary words carefully, learn them, and do all the warming up and workshop activities that are given in the textbook. Thank you.